we'll never get Kristen Stewart in a Marvel movie. Whatever will we do? What will we do? My entire life is ruined now. We're never going to have her in a Marvel movie unless it's directed by a particular director. Then she would do it. I see stuff like this a lot lately. I've seen more of it in recent times where there's these actors, they're on a podcast or they catch them on the street. You know, they see them standing in line to get a hot dog and they're like, hey, would you ever do a Marvel movie? What do you think? So give the microphone. What do you think about Marvel? Give us a quote. I feel like they're literally locking them in a cage until they give them a bad Marvel quote. That's what it feels like lately. Let's read what she has to say and then look at the rest of the context here. Kristen Stewart on potentially joining the MCU. I will likely never do a Marvel movie. Was she even asked to be in a Marvel movie? Did somebody ask her? Did they ask her to be Jean Grey or something? And she's like, no, don't want to do it. Can't do it. It's just weird. Like when actors say stuff like this without ever being approached to do it. Anyway, that sounds like a fucking nightmare. Okay. Well, you know, to be fair, Marvel, not everybody's built for Marvel. Let's be clear on that. Not everybody is built to be in a Marvel movie, and that's okay. Not every actor has to be a Marvel star, superhero, whatever. We had Anthony Mackie have a quote taken out of context the other day. We'll take a look at that here in a second. But not everybody's built to be in a Marvel movie. I get it. I understand. It's like, you know, am I heartbroken? Maybe. Actually, if Greta Gerwig asked me to do a Marvel movie, then I would do it. Also, so if Greta was doing a Marvel movie, then all of a sudden, none of that other stuff matters. Like the idea of it being a nightmare doesn't matter. Look, I like Greta Gerwig, so that doesn't bother me at all. But here's the deal. I've been seeing a lot of these kinds of quotes lately. The Anthony Mackie's another one where these outlets really want engagement. They really want it because right now there's not a lot happening in 2024 in terms of like superhero stuff. It's kind of like a soft reset year. We've talked about this. I actually think the Deadpool and Wolverine could be $1 billion movie. Joker 2, but potentially not ready to put a bet on that one yet. The rest of the year looks a little like not great. I mean, Venom, maybe. Kraven, no, I don't think so. There's just not a lot happening. So they're really trying to like pull out anything they can. But to give a little more context to this, she did say the system would have to change. You'd have to put so much money and so much into one person and it doesn't happen. And so therefore what ends up happening is this algorithmic weird experience where you can't feel personal about it at all. And that is her opinion as an actor, where she doesn't want to be a part of the machine that is Marvel, because when you get locked into that, it is you taking on a character from a comic, and there's a lot of pressure and stress to make sure it's right because you don't want to let the fans down. And so essentially, I feel like she just doesn't want to get locked into that. I don't have an issue with it. I also don't see any real reason for her to even be commenting on this other than to give these like really weird tweets. Let's look at what Anthony Mackie had to say. So I saw this the other day and I was like, should I make a video on this? Maybe, maybe not. I feel like certain channels here on YouTube, you know the channels I'm talking about, are going to make videos trying to spin this negatively. And of course they did. So let's talk about these quotes. Anthony Mackie says, I would say the Marvel thing is completely different just because it's such a space of controlled entertainment. Like there's only so much you can do. There's only so much creativity you can bring to the table because Stan Lee gave us so much content. So they were trying to put a spin on that one. Like it was some sort of some sort of negative thing. I don't really see the negativity in it. I mean, like, yeah, Stan Lee set up a lot of characters and a lot of the groundwork for the Marvel universe. And so you can't do but so much because at a certain point it breaks and it is no longer what it's supposed to be. And that's what a lot of these like anti-fandom channels talk about, is the negativity around changing things too much. So I don't know why they would consider that to be a bad thing, because it sounds to me like he's saying they want to sort of make sure they keep the fidelity of everything in place. So it's not really a negative thing. Then continued, when asked whether that also means that Mackie and his fellow producers had the freedom to introduce characters or unexpectedly kill people, Mackie said, exactly. That's the hard thing about the Marvel universe. It's like you can't really go outside of the lines of those comic books. And so again, speaking to the fidelity of comics, this isn't some sort of own against Marvel. No matter how you spin it, I don't see how that's an own against Marvel. He is talking about the fidelity of the characters translated from the comics to live action. And yes, if you're a director coming into a Marvel project, we've had them leave before. There's creative differences. Sometimes it just doesn't line up. If you're a director coming into a Marvel project, then you should be well aware that you're going to be working with pre-existing stories, pre-existing characters, and you're going to have a little bit of wiggle room to pick and choose what you want to do. There's a lot of stories over the years from Marvel. We still have tons of them left that you want to pick from the comics and you want to translate into the movie. And then you're going to either get the green light or the red light, or you walk away, whatever that is. None of this is an own. None of this is a bad thing. I don't see this as a negative. And so it's weird to me that so many of these like hate spaces here on YouTube want to spin this as a negative. And I'm sure the Kristen Stewart stuff is going to show up as a negative. By the time my video goes live, there'll probably be 100 of them talking about how she trashes the Hollywood elites or something. It's all the same stuff, y'all. It's all the same stuff. Look, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on all of this down below. And if you go on to enjoy my content, make sure you hit subscribe, become part of the Airrick Verse, leave a like, and again, leave a comment. Thanks so much, guys. See you in the next video.